Go ahead and close your eyes if you can, relaxing your forehead, unclench your jaw, and relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Together, we're going to take a nice deep inhale through your nose, filling up your diaphragm and your lungs. And on your exhale, gently releasing out your mouth, letting go. On your next inhale through the nose, filling up your diaphragm, filling up your lungs, really getting as much air in as possible. And when you're at the top of your breath, pausing there just for a moment. And exhale out your mouth, letting go. If you could close your eyes, go ahead and open them. And welcome back to Mindful Moves with me, your host, Daniela Jensch. I am very happy to be in this seat today because we are speaking about something super interesting. And it's not just interesting to me, I think. I think it's been an online theme at the moment. Even though fascia has been around forever, fascia has been very, very, very researched in the last 10-ish years, let's say 10 to 15 years. And I'm just so excited because I'm excited for people to understand their bodies better and to understand how they work and just dive deeper into what helps us be our best version of ourselves and feel that way on the inside, right? So if you have been wondering what fascia is, let's talk about it. Fascia is one of our biggest sensory organs in our entire bodies. A lot of people like to describe it as a casing or a cling wrap sort of substance around our muscles, but it's so much more than that. Not only does fascia wrap around our muscles, but it wraps and weaves in between our organs as well. So you can imagine it's absolutely from head to toe in every part of us. The more you know about it, the more I can guarantee you are going to live a much more calm and relaxed life. Thinking about fascia in that way, now that you kind of can imagine it in your head, let's paint the picture more. Fascia is a fluid and intelligent sort of substance. It's created from water and collagen, to keep it on a very basic level. And so when I say water and collagen, I would imagine that you think of like a very nice, smooth, hydrated gliding system, and that's what it should be. It should glide in between your muscles and your organs very smoothly when it's healthy. However, when it's not healthy, it gives more of a look of dry, sticky, old spider webs, if that's the best way I can describe it, and it's dried out, right? Because the opposite of being hydrated is going to be dried out, and that's what we don't want for our fascia. Our fascia needs to be hydrated, and I'm going to speak about that a bit later. But then you can imagine the stiffness that you feel in your body. Now you can kind of paint a picture of what your fascia would feel like there. And to take it one step further of what's going on in your body, I think a spider web is a great starting point. Because when you have a big spider web in front of you and you know that that whole spider web is connected, every single part. The left top side is connected to the right bottom side, and the same applies to our body. We don't just have fascia in our arms or fascia in our foot and it's separate to the fascia in our left hand. They're all connected because it's one big web of fascia. So the same applies for the spider web analogy. If you had one in front of you and the right hand corner had, let's say, caught a bug, the whole fascia, if you've ever seen something get stuck in a spider web, the whole web is affected. It's not just that corner, and it can contort and contract in that corner, and it affects the whole outer side. And then you have to do damage control, right? So the same applies. When your neck is sore in one point, it's not isolated to the fascia in your neck. It is very often that it is pulling or reflecting from another part of your body because we are so connected, because the fascia is so connected. So now that you can kind of see a visual, I think that will help with the next time that you're stiff, the next time that you're feeling tight, because you can imagine the spider web and how it's pulling. you'll feel that. When your neck is sore, it affects your whole body in some way. It really depends on the level at which your fascia is affected, but you will know that. Now you've got a basic overview of what that looks like. Now let's talk a little bit about what it looks like when it tightens. So a lot of people think that your fascia is going to be tight, or that you're going to develop this stiffness or this stickiness just by sitting, which, do not underestimate. We sit way too much. We sit, a lot of us have jobs that require sitting at desks. We are way less active than we used to be in the past. And so that definitely plays a role. And I don't want to take from that, because movement is very important for the fascia. However, there is a second element that is really important to talk about. And that is the fact that your fascia actually responds as a protective mechanism. It has emotional protection. It has emotional armor around it. So your fascia, because as described, is wrapped around your muscles, your organs, everything important in your body. When your stress level, when your emotional state is heightened, if your fascia can feel that there's threat, because it's a deep feeling sensory organ, your fascia actually would brace. If you were to fall over right now and land on the ground, your muscles contract when you hit the ground. Your fascia braces before. And so you can understand the intelligence of it. So if your body emotionally, and it's not just to say like when you're feeling emotions, but when your body puts on this emotional armor because it's protecting yourself, whether you're feeling stressed, maybe you have big deadlines coming, maybe you are storing trauma inside your body will signal to the fascia, and the fascia is listening all the time, and it will tighten. So that grip that happens is from the fascia tightening. And that tightening is actually your body trying to always look after itself. It's tightening because it's trying to protect your internal organs. So you can imagine what happens. There's this loop cycle. There's a perceived threat, whether it's real or not. Your fascia tightens. This then speaks to your cortisol, and your cortisol level rises. That rise in cortisol tightens the fascia again. So this loop is not the best loop to get stuck into, but it is a very good example of why you need to notice this loop. And you can only notice things when you understand them or you're aware of them. Another key aspect of this is that the fascia is also wrapping around and woven in between the vagus nerve. And if you know about the nervous system, you don't need to even know much. If you don't, it's okay. The vagus nerve is our biggest nerve that runs through the body, and it directly correlates with nervous system regulation. It keeps us in either fight or flight, in freeze, or in rest and digest, to keep it very simple. And so when your fascia tightens, guess what it's also wrapped around? Your vagus nerve. And that prevents you being able to put on the brakes on stress. So now you can understand what your body is, what's going on inside your body when you are feeling heightened. It doesn't mean that you are being emotional in the sense of not having emotional mastery. It means the sense of your body can feel what's going on. It can feel, especially when you are stressed. And often we are stressed in many, many different situations. It's not always just work related. It's very much related to personal life, where you're at, where your mindset is at. This all correlates. And now you have a basic understanding of, number one, what the fascia is, and number two, what it looks like when that grip really kicks in. So now that we know all of those beautiful things, what can we do about it? What can we do? And you know me very well by this stage. I love to recommend things that you can go and do right now. I don't want you to go and have to, of course, please go research the topic. Please go see what suits you, because you need to work on what feels good for you. It's not always, I always say this, it's not one size fits all, but a lot of the time these suggestions can help everybody. I'm almost 100% sure. So let's dive right into what can help with your fascia, to release it, to help it calm, to help it release, and to create safety in your body. So number one, it's creating awareness around it. Now that you know what it is, fascia, you need to be in touch with, and you can only be in touch with anything in your body, whether it's your nervous system, your stress, cortisol level, your fascia, when you are aware. And being aware requires you to be present. So you need to be present around how you're feeling. You need to be aware on where does the tightness sit in your body? Where do you feel you have tight fascia. If you take a very deep inhale, how do your lungs feel? Do you have any tightness in your left shoulder? Do you have anywhere else in your body when you go to the gym, or maybe you go for a walk and you can feel a bit of stiffness? Maybe the lower part of your legs. A lot of women carry a lot of fluid there. It's a lot to do with hormones as well, but our fascia as well. So, number one is awareness, and you need to tap into your body and make this connection with where you need to be taking action onto, because you can't go into it without knowing, okay, well, I know that the left side of my body is tight. I know that the fascia there is tight. So, number one, just creating awareness about it. Another thing I'd like you to take note of is how much water you're drinking. And we're going to speak about that in the later steps. But just noticing where the tightness is in your body, how you feel on a day to day. If you having a tight part of your body correlates with having high stress, do they happen at the same time? Because usually that would be the case. Step number two, we want to create safety in our body. As we spoke about emotional armory or gripping in our body, we need to start signaling and speaking to the fascia to release this, to release and say we're safe. Because if your fascia feels safe, your vagus nerve feels safe, your body feels safe, that release can happen. That's why the most relaxed people you know are like, you almost describe them as flowy, because they are just so relaxed and their bodies are relaxed, and you can feel this from the inside out, right? So what we're going to do is an actionable step to create safety in the body, which for me is my number one somatic work, is breath work. You can go ahead and research what somatics make you feel safe. Breath work is a universal experience for humans, and it will be always my number one suggestion. So whether that means being able to take a longer exhale after you've inhaled, maybe taking a few deeper breaths when you wake up, before you go to bed, anytime you feel the stress happening in your body or this tightening, because you can feel that tightening when it's happening. Maybe it's just taking 3 breaths when you sit down at your desk before that tightening happens. I like to create these micro moments in my day, because otherwise you just let it build and then it's a little bit more difficult to relax. You don't want to go for maximum stress in your body before you do something about it. If you can chip away at it through the day, you are way better set out to have a more calm day. It's just how it works. And then, therefore, a calmer life. And something else that I would recommend, apart from doing these breaths, and this is something that I wish more people knew about, and that they knew that they had access to these tools. You do not need to go to a breathwork class and pay for it if you can't afford it. We are living in a time where the tools are at our fingertips. And so I'm going to link below my favorite breathwork classes, or at least my favorite YouTube channel, and they have amazing breathwork for all types of things. A 15-minute stress one, a 30-minute self-love one. These breathwork guided sessions are my favorite because I love music, and music is incorporated and beats, and they guide you through it. So all you genuinely have to do, you don't have to think about it. You can turn off your brain, you can lie down, you can cover your eyes with something, or you just close them, and someone is going to guide you through this beautiful moment, and you are going to be able to just signal to your body, hey, whatever you've been experiencing today, you can relax, you can release, we are safe. So that would be my second suggestion. Feel free to go and do a YouTube class. If that feels like too much, like I said, take a few breaths whenever you can through the day, extend your exhale. Tip number 3. This one sounds easy because it's always recommended to people. But when I was describing the fascia, you heard me say that it's made up of water and collagen. How do you think your fascia is? What does it look like when you are dehydrated? Your fascia cannot function, it cannot glide, it cannot be its easygoing self. You need to be hydrated. So I know we were always taught to drink, 8 glasses of water a day for whatever reason. Maybe your reasoning is you want to be healthier or more hydrated. Think about your fascia. It's such a big sensory organ in your body. I hope that the session just reminds you how important it is to hydrate every part of your body, especially your fascia. This is going to naturally just give you so many steps forward without actually doing anything. just looking after your body. So that tip is very simple. Find a way to incorporate more water into your day. I know a lot of people like their big bottles. I don't do well with big bottles. I don't sip on them. I need a big jug of water and I need a glass. And I fill up my glass and I drink the glass. And then a little bit later, I do the same. So find what works for you, but you need to definitely prioritize hydration. You're going to help your fascia so much by just being diligent with that. Number 4, I'm sure you guys have seen online, I don't know if everyone's seen this new trend where people wake up in the morning and they jump 50 times or they bounce up and down 100 times, depending on which one you've seen. But this is actually great advice for your fascia. Now, it's not a jumping jack. You're not supposed to be out of breath. It is just a gentle, light bounce. I like to just always bump my heels onto the floor. So you can keep the balls of your feet on the floor and then you just gently bounce. You create a little bit of openness, a bit of space, a bit of movement in the body. It ties in really well with the lymphatic system. And so you're doing yourself an overall great favor. I can guarantee you doing those tiny jumps, 50 of them, does not take more than a minute. So this trend has been that you do it the first thing when you wake up. And it's the best thing that I've started incorporating because you wake up and you feel that grogginess. Your body is still struggling to wake up. But remember, overnight, your brain gets a lot of toxins out and does a general brain clean in the evening. And it's released and it's actually flushed through your lymphatic system. So that's where sometimes that grogginess and that heaviness can come from. So if you're able to just activate your very much self-serving systems, they know what they're doing. If you can just help them along, maybe they're a little bit stiffer in the morning, just doing light bouncing. That's my 4th tip for fascia. And number 5, I have started doing this in the evenings. It's not every evening. It's just when I remember, because I don't like to put pressure around these things. I like them to feel like a ritual. I definitely do prioritize them. For example, I don't compromise on not having enough water because that's just unhealthy. But I do allow myself some room when it comes to these rituals because we are humans. We can't stack our days full of these routines because there's a million suggested to us. Do what feels good to you. What feels really good to me is this last tip, which is a fascia sort of massage and release. Now, you can go to a professional to do this. That's absolutely no problem. If you have the means, go for it. A lot of the time you'll see that fascia release is less about pushing into the muscle and it's more about pulling away and it's creating space. So you're kind of opening up. As I described the fascia, you would have noticed it's this vibrant fluid and it needs space to do it, and it's the spider web kind of look, and you need to release and open up that space. So it's less about when you go for a traditional massage, they usually push down onto the muscle. We want a fascia release and we want to pull up. We gently grab the skin and you will see, I urge you to do this, go at different parts of your body and try to pull away from, it's hard to describe over the podcast, but if you're watching, you're going to be pulling away. So you're grabbing maybe the top of your arm here, your forearm, you're pulling away and gently opening up. And you might experience that at a professional, but I like to do it by myself. I do it before bed. It's a great way for me to relax. I just tell my fascia, give it a quick little opening release. I like to do it around my tummy area or my legs or my arms, my neck as well. And it's much easier to do because you're not having to really work your thumbs when you give yourself a self massage. You are more pulling away. And so it's a different type and you feel very connected. I find I'm very connected in that time because I can feel everything opening up inside me. So that would be my 5th tip is, and if you're not 100% sure, please go and look it up. I know it's sometimes difficult to understand and there's a load of information coming at you, but take what resonates and don't feel you have to do everything at once. It's so important for us to remember that we're human and that we're doing our best just by showing up each day, by trying, but we are able to educate ourselves because I find these things are little biohacks that help us so much more than having to always, let's say, do self help and work with your emotions because sometimes that's hard. A lot of the times it's hard. So I love working with the body because you can, through no language at all, except for connecting to your body, you're teaching it through action that it's safe. And so those would be my top 5. Number one, become aware. You need to be present. You need to be in tune with how your body is feeling and where it is feeling what. Okay. Number two, you'll always hear me say this, breath work. This is the key to being human, and we have just lost it through shallow breathing, and it's so powerful when you gain it back. I will link my favorite YouTube breathwork channel below. Number three, very important, stay hydrated. Find a way to stay hydrated and stick to it. This is a non-negotiable. Number four, you're going to do gentle little bouncing, literally 1 minute in the morning or whenever through the day. Nothing too vigorous. You just want to activate the lymphatic system. You want to speak to the fascia. It gently opens up everything. And number five, self-massage or going to a professional. Google a video. I'm happy to link one below. And you're just going to gently for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be long, but if we have time to do anything else, then we also have time to look after our bodies. And it really doesn't have to be every day. It can really be whenever you think of it, whenever you can make time for it. Do not add extra stress and pressure to your already busy schedule, because your body will feel that. We're not trying to add more. We're trying to make space and room for stuff that makes us feel really, really good and safe in our bodies, right? So I'm going to do a deeper dive in the fascia series that I'm going to start next year, but I thought I'd just give a very basic overview and dive into it, give you some tips for right now. I know that it's the busy season. I know that it's holiday time, so take a moment for yourself. If all you do this holiday season is just stay hydrated, then you're already doing so wonderfully. So I'm wishing you all the best. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate the support. Thank you for subscribing and for interacting with the podcast. It really does mean so much. And I hope that this was as interesting to you as it was to me. I'm wishing you a beautiful, beautiful week. All the best for this new year. It's going to be a magical one, and I'm so glad we're starting it together. Do not forget that the light that you are constantly seeking outside of yourself is just waiting to be acknowledged within. Have a beautiful day. See you next week. Bye.